Hi there, my name is Melina Landrio, and today is December the 12th, 2023. I'm deciding to step back into sharing my gifts with the public after a few years of being off, in part due to COVID, in part to being a new mom and expanding my family, and also in part to being spiritually injured due to some unfortunate circumstances that shouldn't have occurred. So I've been working with God and my angels and of course my ancestors in very deeply intertwining the past decade of my life and just trying to harness and hold and reconstruct, bring back to balance what is supposed to be. With that said, I have been guided by God and my spirit team to connect with spirit in mediumship in the way that I do best. So what I would like to share with you today is a story from a spirit that has been waiting a long time to connect with me. And because of the circumstances, I was blinded, not able to connect in the way that I should have been. There was a lot of confusion, constraint, and difficulty that occurred to my spiritual connections and gifts because somebody felt I'm not even sure what their mindset was, but they felt I wasn't deserving of these gifts. Well, I'm here to tell you that what you're born with, you're deserving of. What your life path is deserving. And I'm here today to connect with spirit in a very profound way because my gifts are back. They are fully reinstated and they're only getting stronger. And I've even been gifted some beautiful new blessings, which are going to make way when they're ready to come out. In the meantime, I am going to do my due diligence to God and to this beautiful spirit that has been wanting to connect with me for some time. And so I'm going to begin shuffling my cards and connecting with them. And I'm going to write down some information and I will relay what comes. Okay? Oops. This card was upside down for some reason. See if it pops out again. The Prince of Cups. So 2 cards that have popped out right off the bat is the 6 of discs and the 4 of discs. So success and power. And this is a little deep dive into the outcome of this connection. There'll be some form of success achieved. And we won't know until we go through the reading, I understand, what this is going to be. So I'm just going to place this card down on the side, and it popped out with the power card. So power. I'm getting the sense that this is going to help somebody take back their power. In alignment with my story I just shared, I took back mine. So it's a form of connection with success and power. So success in connecting the dots, success in finding energetically the deliverance of this message, and power, like a surge, connecting it to whom this message is for, and as well bringing back power into this dynamic, into this soul's evolution, and I think also whom is receiving this message. So we'll just keep this in mind, that this will be encompassed in success and power. Okay? Tell me more, please, God. This is a tale of lovers. The Lovers card. So the spirit that's coming forward wants to tell me a story about lovers. So a relationship, a dynamic, an instinctual imprint in the world energetics, potential of an extension beyond, and also an extension from. And the lovers bringing two connections together as one. The dance of unison within the construct. So, a tale of lovers. So the Queen of Cups has popped out. This to me really elevates ancestral lines and ties of a maternal component. So I believe this is a maternal side of a story, perhaps. Let's see if anything else comes out. And it's not complete. The completion card came out in reverse. So it's some form of connection that was encompassing a maternal dynamic, and this cycle hasn't been completed. So this tells me there was either a dynamic of past life component in this relationship with the lovers that had to recycle into a new cycle, a new experience, whether that be in the same lifetime or that be multiple lifetimes of trying to achieve a cycle completion. So we are potentially going to be diving into a story to complete a cycle. So just to bear in mind that I'm working as a medium. I'm working with a soul who wants to tell their story, a story of lovers, and a story that has a maternal lineage aspect to it that has not been completed. Also, a story that right off the bat came with success and power. So there is an energy that's involved in this component to spiral through this reading today to get the right connections for this reading to be heard. So if you're somebody who has lost a counterpart, a family member that had a storyline to do with a love interest or a relationship that never completed due to unforeseen circumstances. Perhaps there was some form of interference with the maternal lineage and they never got to achieve something. This is likely a connection for you. Any more cards here that need to be pulled? I think that's it for now. Perfect. So let's see our next deck, get a little bit of some details. So let me just speak with the spirit for a few moments. So the card Restore and Replenish came out, which is significant to this storyline with lovers. We'll find out a little bit more about that in a moment. Cards are really wanting to jump out today. One more round. And a big bold vision. So we have 2 cards. I'm just going to do one more round and see if any more want to pop out. Oh, there's another card that's pulled backwards. Hold on. Trust yourself in the reverse. There's another one in here, I believe. And Legacy of Light. So we have 4 cards that have flipped over and come out. And we'll see what these are about. So I'm going to make notes while we go along, so just bear with me. So we have a tale of 2 lovers. A relationship in unison that didn't get to fulfill a cycle, an experience, a unity. There's something encompassing, and we'll know more diving into the depths of this as we go. And there was something to do with a big, bold vision. So if we have Restore and Replenish, and this tells me there was a battle, there was a struggle, there was something that a counterpart of this relation, perhaps the unity of the relationship, had to endure. And they had to lay and restore and replenish for a period of time. The number 38 is significant to this, but it doesn't have to be. And I think while they were replenishing and they were restoring, it brought in visions and experiences from the growth that they've achieved, the internal growth. It brought forth very much clarity. And I think it also brought forth fertility, because there is, if you see on this card, there's a bee on the crown, and bees represent fertility. They also represent the Lover's card. So there's also a sacred scarab on the throat chakra, which tells me there could be a curse involved. So cursing, fertility, and visions. Big, bold nature. And the Trust Yourself card came in reverse. So the dynamic of not trusting oneself, or not trusting the information being received, that potentially could have brought in the ending, which didn't fulfill or complete the cycle. And also the legacy of light. There was something that was to be birthed. And this is very devastating for humanity. You could see the rank of lineage and all the power that comes from this little source here, from these connections here, and all the wisdom of the universe surrounding, entering in through the crown of each, speaking through the throats of each. So this legacy of light should have been unfolded to enhance the universe, to enhance the humans here, all in unison. So let's dive in a little bit deeper, shall we? Let's talk about the restore and replenish. Show me what I need to know. So they're restoring and replenishing from cruelty. There's a lot of cruelty happening in their surroundings. You could see there's Nine of Swords here. It's a ultimate ending. It's dripping of blood. So there's blood on the hand. So this could be a potential murder homicide that we're dealing with. This is screaming death, either physical or spiritual or both. And this is many layers of it. This isn't just an incident. This has to do with the restore and replenish card. So why one would have to restore and replenish. So either they have been taken out physically and are restoring and replenishing in spirit, or there is a counterpart as well that is restoring and replenishing from the ripped tie that occurred due to this cruelty. So it's like severing the unity of the lovers. So this is a story of, I believe, a homicide, a murder homicide, where two people that were very much in love were ripped apart due to some experience that we don't know anything about just yet, but it led to multiple sheds of blood. So I don't think this is just one, this is two. This is at least two. very sad. Let's see if there's anything more. Okay. So here comes a third party entering into this restore and replenish. So this is absolutely a tale of lovers and the maternal lineage that for some reason was not in favor. So it's the cups, the Queen of Cups, very psychic, very loving, very nourishing. However, there is secrecy, there is discord. And this reflection is emitting sorrow, great sorrow. The heart has been hardened, the connection severed with God. I'm gauging. Very cold-hearted malice, which brought in a victory. So that tells me, so when I look at this replenish and restore and what has occurred, is somebody left the plane, somebody stayed, somebody remained, and there was trauma occurring to the one remaining, nightmares, reliving, going over what has been. This is a female counterpart on Earth, and their masculine was attacked. And this was a victory that brought happiness, which is bizarre. So I'm going to ask a little bit more about, tell me about victory and happiness. Wealth. It brought wealth. This was considered a victory, and this was considered happiness, and this was considered strength. So this is some form of cult-like mannerism that disregards humanity and does it for material gain. Material gain being wealthy and also in strength. So what were they gaining in strength? And I get it, there is abundant energy here, earth related, so materials with the Knight of Discs, as well as there are two other counterparts here. There is paternal lineage of this line that has gained the wealth and gained the strength. So the victorious one that thought this wealth and strength would bring happiness by severing this union, by creating discord for the women who remain and removing the obstacle, the illusion of the obstacle in the unity of their relation. So I have here, I have definitely a paternal cousin in relation to this circumstance. And also, just let me double check this one. A loss of a child. There's a loss of a child here. So the woman that was remaining lost a child due to this cruelty. So not only did 3 people, when I said 3, there's a third party. The third party being interference by a maternal lineage, interference with a cousin, and interference with her being able to move forward with the loss of a child. A boy. She was supposed to have a boy. I see a blonde-haired, little blue-eyed, rambunctious boy. Holland is coming to mind. Indolence. Indolence, the 8 of Cups, has popped out. This is constructive to behaviors that are just not conducive. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, it's like indolence, like the need to remove yourself completely from a circumstance. So I feel like this person, this woman, potentially checked out mentally. I just lost a card. And she lost her ability to decipher, and the light in her went out. So potentially someone who lives in Holland, somebody who could be 38 years old, who was in love, madly in love with somebody, a man, perhaps a man, I believe it's a man, and there was interference with her maternal lineage. Okay, so there was interference with her maternal lineage. So the man passed, a baby was taken. There was bloodshed that happened. This was in the form for wealth, for the promise of happiness through wealth and strength, which I don't believe was ever fulfilled fully. I think they got the wealth. I think they perceived it as strength, but they realized there's great weakness, because I think this maternal lineage has been in their mind overplaying and being haunted by the effects or the acts of what has occurred to this woman. The name Deidre just popped into my head. Sorry, Deidre. And I believe she's 38. Date of death, 1965. Date of death, 1965. Is that true? Okay. Born in the 1940s. So she lost her light and she lost her fire. And she also lost the blessings, the promise of a child. And she gave up and lost all her power, her light, and her ability to just want to navigate trusted sources. She completely left, checked out, and has been sitting in mental asylum, I believe, with a grieving heart for the duration of her life. And back then, in 1965, it wasn't very, I mean, it still isn't today, but a mental hospital isn't a very beautiful place to be, you know, especially for anybody, but especially for a woman. So this was the loss of a lot. Loss of a child, loss of the ability, needing to walk away, just checking out, loss of blessings, giving up her fire, her light, and being able to navigate the world in a normalcy of life. And there's something to do with a cousin and her abundance on earth would be the lover that left. I'm being guided to take my other cards now, so we're just going to put these ones wrong. We're just going to get a little bit more insight into this big, bold vision that brought forth this discord and these characters who decided to steal things that didn't belong to them in order to remove someone from their self. Just sad, really sad story. So I believe the unity of the two of them that was offered a blessing, and there was a big, bold vision. And it's something that they knew they wanted, and it wanted them. It was a baby. It was a beautiful vision of family, of growing together outside of the discord of what the maternal lineage was for this woman. So she came from a family that was very stern and strict, probably not of value in regards to what moral value or ethics. They obviously were driven by materialism and strength, and didn't really have a complete formation of what strength really was. There was this idea of encompassing, engulfing, completely demolishing would be their idea of what strength was. But what this woman's idea of strength was, Deidre, I understand is her name, and lives in Holland, was in Holland. And I believe she was 38 when she passed, 1965. When her lover passed and her baby passed. And this was bloodshed. This was done deliberately for money and wealth. So what you want wants you. So they both together had this beautiful vision of unison, of sacredness, of the divine feminine, divine masculine, and then with the medicine of the scarab and the bee, just fertility and just beautiful bliss moving forward. It's creating this vision beyond what your normal was, and this was something that they both really wanted. It was something that was really needed and endured. And then they had faith in the process that everything would be okay with all the discord that was coming up. So I think alarms were coming up, were rising up as they, started to dive into, marriage, getting a home together, starting to live, in a beautiful symmetry. The number 32 might be of significance here. Just having faith in the process, just trusting that everything is going to unfold properly. I get the sense that she started to get sick. I get the sense that there was some poisoning being done. by the mother. I believe it was the woman, Deidre's mother. It could have been the paternal side, though. That's not quite clear just yet, but we'll get there. So I believe she was 38 when she passed. And there's two cards that were upside down. So she knew, yeah, exactly. There's a baby that wasn't born. New birth guarded vigilantly. Nope, they poisoned her to make sure that baby didn't happen. So she got pregnant out of wedlock. They had faith in the process that this baby would be okay. So she started getting sick from the poisoning that was occurring to her. And again, yep, clarifying poisoning. She was receiving nourishing food that was tainted, and it was creating difficulty. So it was, if you look at this, it looks like this is receiving nourishment and beauty, except it was given in the reverse. So it wasn't nourishing. There was something tainted about it. That's why I came to that construct. The name Victor keeps hitting in my mind. Process here. So that is the big bold vision. So there was a vision of love, of unity, of growing together as a family, of creating change and discord. And I believe the mother, the maternal side of the lineage alongside a paternal side of the lineage. So I'm getting the sense this is the paternal side of the relationship, the lovers. So the masculine that ended up becoming deceased wasn't supposed to die. It was supposed to just be her getting sick and losing the baby, is what I'm understanding. And in relation to the cousin, second cousin once removed. Second cousin once removed is significant to this storyline. I'm hearing, okay, there was a rape. Second cousin once removed. She was impregnated by a rape of the masculine's lineage. The mother of the masculine, the paternal side of the relation, knew it wasn't hers, suspected, being the intuitive, and this was not okay, so she poisoned the food. Little doses to remove the baby in the dreams. This woman got labeled as a scarlet for a rape that impregnated her. And it took the baby, but it also took the masculine. It's a little bit of a narrow dive there. Let's see here. Trust in yourself. So we've got disappointment in reverse. And worry. So she was experiencing a lot of gaslighting and manipulation during this process. when she was worrying about her baby because she was having pain. People were saying, oh, it's fine, that's normal, my pregnancy was like that. And she trusted these sources of the women, her elders that were around her, and their information that they gave her based on their experience with childbearing and birthing. And so she trusted them and distrusted her own inner wisdom or intuition. And then this began to lead her into worrying thoughts and a bit of paranoia back and forth, not trusting in herself, but like understanding that there was something not right, but not fully connecting due to the manipulation and the gaslighting. So this is likely a narcissistic type of family dynamic that she was entering into with her masculine, her lover. However, they were different. They weren't like this experience. And so she wasn't trusting herself. And then there's her legacy of light. Which would have brought much luxury to their union, except it ended up with failure to co-create, and the change of the co-creation led to abundance for the masculine's maternal lineage. So she lost everything, this woman, Deidre. She lost the love of her life. She lost her baby. She lost her mind. She was poisoned. Her baby didn't make it. She was gaslit and manipulated into believing there wasn't anything wrong, and there must be something wrong with her mind. And this beautiful dream of what they were calling forth, of creating this new life, became demolished in an instant. And the dynamic that I'm seeing with the power part of this is the maternal lineage is living in the wealth of this, but they're unhappy. It's just the cycle of narcissism just continues, and the discord of what happened is not even being remembered correctly. This masculine that passed, that was killed, and his child, and they're together. I see them. They're together. And Deidre is with them. Maybe she was born in 1965. No. Maybe. Was she born in 1965? So that would make her, if she's 38, if that's the accurate age, maybe she's younger, maybe she's older. So she's born in 65. 2003. So 2003 she would have been 38. 2003 was when things stopped. She died at 38. Oh, I see. Okay. She was born in 1965 and she died at 38. I misconstrued that information. So in 2003, her husband-to-be was murdered, was poisoned, and just before that, she lost her baby. She was 6 months pregnant. It was a big ordeal. She was 6 months pregnant. She was raped or had interference with her husband-to-be's second cousin once removed. I don't know what that even means, but that might make sense to this person. So Deidre is still potentially here. So if she was 38 in 2003, and it's now, so 48, 50, she'd be 58. She'd be 58, almost 59 years old right now. So 58, 59 years old. I believe she lives in Holland. And this story might resonate with her. I think it was a case that was closed. So the maternal grandmother is stepping forward with the power and success that she felt she gained from this whole experience. She's stepping forward to tell the truth, because Deidre has not been the same ever since. She was put in an asylum to try to get better. She had a lot of great losses, a lot of great dreams. I believe she never fell in love again. She never had another baby. She has her child and husband to be that she wanted with her in spirit. And so I see him, the baby would have been blonde hair, blue eyes. The divine masculine, had dark black hair, fair skin, piercing blue eyes. He was 5'8", an athletic build, like a swimmer's build. But just very fit, I understand. I'm seeing him with swords, so fencing may have been a sport that he was into. So he potentially came from a family of wealth. And I believe this woman, Deidre, was the opposite spectrum of what this family wanted for their son. So this grandmother would have been grandmother that did not entertain the relation, that destroyed the relationship by feeding them poison to kill the baby, brought cruelty and has blood on her hands. She gained money because of a cousin, second cousin once removed. So it's in the same lineage, but did not have direct ties. So the potential for this story could be she was raped, or this woman was paid for him to take her off of his hands. Regardless, the experience didn't occur to the maternal lineage's wanting. So there was money exchanged for this interference to occur, whether it be rape, and she was impregnated by another man of the same lineage, which I'm starting to think is not what actually happened. I believe she was impregnated by the man she wanted to marry. But I feel like she was raped by this man, or abused, because she retaliated and said no. She wasn't bought, because she had this vision, this inner knowing, she had this vibrant trust in herself when she was with him, before all the gaslighting and the manipulation started to occur. There was a lot of falsities that occurred just to get her to steer away, that she began to distrust her intuition and herself. So lots of dynamics were placed in line to get her off the trail of the man she wanted and away from the lineage to a different counterpart. So like even to try to buy and sell her off. You could stay in the lineage, just not our direct lineage. And this woman ended up getting paid for murdering her son and her grandson. And now in spirit, she's coming forward because this is a cold case. It's in Holland, is what I'm understanding. It's a cold case now. It's been closed for at least a decade. And this grandmother coming forward wants to offer this message to get across to Deidre, or to the people in Deidre's lineage. So this message should energetically be connecting to the right person. I believe her name is Deidre. And in powerful force, I do hope it successfully reaches you and you get some form of closure from the circumstance, because I think everything I just stated was what you've always known, and you were made out to be crazy when you actually weren't. They played a game with your mind. They played a game with the entirety of your relationship with this man, potentially named Victor. And I described what he looked like, so if that's similar to who your man was, he is with you in spirit. He is loving on you. He is worried about you. He wants you to know that they are okay and he is taking care of your child. And he just wants you to move on and find happiness and follow your dream, your inner desires. I'm getting the understanding that you have come a long way and you have finally started to connect back into this loving heart space of yours. And this man and this child just want you to know they are rooting for you, and they just want you to follow your heart's content, because you deserve all the love in the world. And they know, and they're moving mountains in spirit to try to make sure that you get it. So you might start to find a serendipity in life. You might start to see connections really flowing, doors really opening for you, thoughts and miraculous creations. I believe like you're very artistic and you're crafty and you create things. This is all coming together and flowing in unison, and you are being held for all the disservices that occurred to you. And the fact that this woman, this maternal mother, has come forward tells me there is a lot of shame and discord for her part in this experience. And in spirit, she is not being highly ranked at this time. Hence why she is coming forward to me to tell me a tale of what she has done in this physical plane, and how she has exponentially destroyed her lineage line, in the sense that there should have been this light of legacy of light, and she got in the way of it. And so because of this, her lineage remained dark. It never lit up with the beauty of you and the beauty of your unison. And this is going to, it won't take back what has happened, but it's going to illuminate and spark within you this legacy of light in you, and you are to be the builder of it now. You're going to create it for Earth, and it's not harnessing like you're not harnessing any blame, or you're not like you've forgiven, you moved on, like you're not gonna like forget what has occurred. You know in your heart what happened. You had your intuition interfered with, and so you also have a mirror image with me with being spiritually injured at some point to an external factor that couldn't see the light of you, couldn't understand why you had the beauty and the grace that you had. So just know that God is with you, and the angels are with you, and this loving partner that you had, and this child that should have been yours, they're still with you in spirit, and they are really working hard to make sure you get the happiness you deserve. So I hope this message reaches somebody. I hope it helps you in some way, shape, or form. And, this is really nice for me to be able to share these stories, although they're kind of bizarre and off, and they take me into such interesting dynamics. They're painful to hear, and they're really lived in a component that's not really spoken about. We walk this earth with a lot of pain and sadness, and it's not normally ours. It's what somebody has pushed on us out of envy or jealousy or this mentality that they're owed something, and nobody is owed anything. We are owed ourselves to be the best version of ourselves, to step up into this world with the light that we're given and the promise of beauty that we're given, and it's up to us to create with it. And we should all be working. Like I've said this before, I'm going to say this every time. We are all pieces of a puzzle, and we all work together when we are flawlessly formed. No puzzle piece is better than the other. We all connect interconnectedly, and we can all create beauty. And, we don't know why some people get more than others, what appears to be more than others. You just have to understand there's a lesson and a teaching in every circumstance. So whatever your perception is, you must try to see a different way. It's important to look at things from all angles, from all sides. It's important to understand and navigate what that is for you. And if you're sitting there causing harm on another because they got something that you don't have, that's a chance for you to learn the lesson and go within and start to see, what are you really upset about? What's really going on with you? Because I guarantee you it's not the circumstance that you're fixated on, it's what you're avoiding within you. So this person, Deidre, illuminated this man, and he changed for the better with her in his life, and nobody in his family liked that, and they went out of their way to make sure he didn't have that light. And whether this grandmother deliberately killed him is something we don't necessarily know. Maybe we won't know, but she is living with this shame in spirit, which tells me it was not intentional, but it happened. She took out her own son. It was supposed to be a baby that she thought was another's, which is the story she told herself. And that's the thing with narcissism, right? Narcissists tell themselves variations of stories to make their realities real, to make it okay for hurting you. They will create a vision within them, their construct, to make it appear like you were the problem, not them. Ay, ay, ay. Anyhow, this is a storyline for somebody in Holland, I believe. And I think you're in your late 50s. If your name is Deidre, I'm not sure. But whoever you are, I just hope you know how blessed you are in spirit. They're really rooting for you. And I just hope that you found some form of happiness that helped you get out of the state that they put you in. And I hope that the power of who you are begins to illuminate, because this earth needs people with light like yours. So, thank you for sharing space with me in mediumship. Thank you for tapping into my YouTube channel. I'm kind of not new to YouTube, but new to posting on YouTube. And I'm going to go with the flow of how life permits me to share these stories. So stay tuned for the next one. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope it helps somebody. I hope that the power of it is successfully transferred to the right person, and they get some form of closure to help this unformed completion become complete. Because your heart needs to mend and you need to move forward. This pain and harshness that you experience doesn't need to become you. And you were preyed upon. This was not your fault. The only fault you had was being your true light, and there's no fault in that. Keep shining. The world needs you. Bye. Love you.